A protest organised by area residents along the Biyagama-Gampaha main road disrupted vehicular activity today. The protesters were demanding an immediate solution for the impending water problems experienced by area residents.
In the past few days, water problems were experienced by around 5,000 families from Gampaha, Kivramulla, Nadungamuwa, Uruwala, Surumulla, Maharagama and Ratupaswala. They said that diseases were caused when they consumed well water. They charged that water being released by a private establishment in the area contain harmful chemicals which pollute the waterways in the area. This problem was reported on the 19th of this month. Officials said that the Central Environment Authority and the Office of Medical Health Officers have already taken measures to address the issue. However, the area residents point out that even though the Gampaha and Mahara Pradesh Sabha has provided a temporary solution of providing drinking water to the area, this has proved to be insufficient. We are unable to take a wash because our bodies start itching and our eyes start tearing. We need proper answers. What can our village do when they provide water like this? This is not the way. Up to now, no official has come to give us an answer. So the public is faced with a lot of difficulty. Nadungamuwa is a village that produced a generation of doctors for Sri Lanka and the world. Now what has given us this sickness?
They said they will give us a solution today, tomorrow. They have not said anything since Friday. We need answers for this.
Even though parliamentarian Ruwan Ranatunga arrived at the location to speak to protesters, they still did not leave the area. Thereafter, Assistant Superintendent of Police Chandana Kodituako arrived at the scene to request the demonstrators to disperse from the area. However, they refused to heed his request. We have terminated their permit completely. The factory workers have to stop functioning. Please move from the area. Sir, it is not that we cannot move you all from here, but the police spoke on behalf of the public. At around 2 p.m., chairperson of the Gampaha Pradesh Sabha arrived at the location and held a discussion with the protesters. The President has decided to provide pipe water to everyone within a period of 1.5 months. We are currently implementing this program in line with the advice issued by the President and Minister Basil Rajapaksa. We have organized a meeting with Minister of Environment, Susil Premajayanta at 10 a.m. tomorrow. We hope to reach a decision during the meeting. If the people are facing any discomfort, we are willing to work with them against it. The demonstrators dispersed after a promise was made by the chairman of the Pradesh Sabha.
The News First citizen journalism initiative U-Report has grown rapidly since its inception, with U-Reporters from around the country registering with News First. Yet another group of U-Reporters that joined News First were given the opportunity of participating in a special workshop in Colombo today.
This group of U-Reporters arrived at the auditorium of the Capital Maharaja organization today. U-Reporters from around the country who were interested in the concepts of citizen journalism took part in today's workshop. Members of the News First staff took steps to raise awareness on fundamentals of journalism and news reporting. The U-Reporters who took part in today's workshop were also educated on the usage of new media. Parliamentarian Ravi Karunanayake also commended the U-Reporter initiative. They were given the opportunity to witness a live news bulletin and the work that goes on behind the scenes. A large number of people have already joined News First U-Report, Sri Lanka's first citizen journalism initiative. We learnt about the new technology. I hope News First will receive the opportunity to take the voice of the innocent people to the country and the world.
Deputy Minister of Health Lalit Dissanayake says that Sri Lanka's younger generation, including school students and university students, are the largest section of society that suffers from depression. He made this statement during a special function held in Colombo yesterday.
A presentation on National Mental Health Survey was held in Colombo yesterday with the participation of a number of distinguished guests. The event was held under the theme From Science to Action, What We Can Do to Beat Depression.
I feel the largest segment of our society that suffer depression is our young people, and especially those attending schools and universities. In the previous era, it was the elders who took to the streets when they were frustrated and unable to make ends meet. But now it is the young school goers who take to streets again authority, especially when they feel they are not recognized, unfairly dealt with, or fail to achieve their ambitions. This leads to violence and even suicide. All this due to this depression.
Even in the richest countries in the world, that about 40 to 50% of people with moderate to severe depression are not receiving treatment. But if you look at the developing countries of the world, which is perhaps where Sri Lanka might sit in terms of the treatment gap, such as, for example, China or Nigeria, that proportion, that treatment gap proportion, goes up to as high as 70 or 80%. In other words, 70 to 80% of people with moderate to severe depression are not receiving the interventions that the World Health Organization has recommended can transform their lives and lead to earlier recovery.
Well, today was day 3 of the National Education and Book Fair, organized for the 6th time by the Welfare Society of the Public Library in Colombo. News First was the media sponsor of the event.
Books of educational value are sold at discounted rates at the National Education and Book Fair. Screen tests conducted by News First were held concurrent to the event. Meanwhile, today a children's art competition was held from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Children between the ages of 3 to 15 years old took part in the competition, and certificates and awards were presented to the winners. What Sirasa is doing is a good thing. The children can learn a lot. My child came here happily, so we are also happy that such events are organized.
We are happy that such opportunities are made available for children to encourage them.
The National Education and Book Fair will conclude on the 31st of this month.
If you visit the exhibition on Sunday, you will be able to purchase books with 20 to 50% discounts. We invite you to come visit the exhibition. If you make your way to the News First mobile unit, you can also take part in a screen test.
Up next, we take a look at Action TV.
The Api Vavamu Ratanagamu conceptual program, which commenced in the year 2007, was successfully implemented in the Mahaweli zone located in the Polonnaruwa district. This may be because Polonnaruwa is the electorate of the individual who introduced the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu concept. Though the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program came to a halt after the introduction of the Divinagama concept that came to life through the 2010 cabinet amendment, the farmers who cultivated under the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program did not abandon their cultivations. The advice given to the people under the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program was to cultivate in every single plot of land. However, the cultivations of farmers that began 3 years ago, by following the advice given through the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program, have been destroyed to make way for the construction of a canal. It is questionable, when taking this act into consideration, whether the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority has undertaken a program to destroy cultivations. The Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority has committed this destruction in the Hilagama settlement in the Madagama division in Dehiyatha Khandiya that falls under the Mahaweli B zone, citing that the cultivations were done within a forest reserve. These farmers point out that they had to cultivate in the forest reserve bordering their houses, as they were advised to engage in cultivation of alternative crops through the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program. It is no doubt that seeds and saplings were provided to these farmers to cultivate under the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program, knowing that cultivations are taking place in a forest reserve. There are numerous instances where cultivations that take place in forest reserves were praised and presented with awards under the Api Vavamu Ratanagamu program. However, the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority, which operates to protect the forest reserves as their own, seems to have no issue when water from a canal is being used in an illegal manner, for the large-scale coconut cultivation is taking place on either side of the EZD canal supplying water to the Mahaweli B-zone from the Maduru Oya reservoir. The Mahaweli Authority, which rendered its assistance for the construction of a hotel close to the land in which the spill gates of the Ratkala reservoir is located, which also needs protection, has paved way for another construction not very far from this location. The Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority has also come into a conclusion that a pepper cultivation does more harm to the reserves than the harm caused by these constructions and large-scale cultivations. Doesn't this intelligence of the Sri Lanka Mahaweli Authority cause an injustice to the farmers and farming as a whole? Minister of Irrigation and Water Resource Management, this is over to you.
Number of reports on farmers rendered helpless due to the destruction of their cultivation. Certain groups destroy papaya cultivation in Nagulagama Mahava. Rubber cultivations in Kinagoda Munragala destroyed. 2 Gramanedari officers damaged a banana cultivation in Balagolla, Polpitigama a few months ago. Group destroyed a rubber cultivation in Karapinchayaya, Munaragala. Similar incidents reported last week from the Hiyatta Kandiya. What is the aim of destroying farmland and cultivations in the country by taking the law into one's hand?
Still in news here at home, the 4th annual AmCham bowling tournament was held in Colombo yesterday. Organized by the American Chamber of Commerce, the AmCham bowling tournament was open for teams from various corporate institutions. Organizers of the tournament hope to promote better networking among staff members of corporate institutions through sportsmanship. In business news tonight, according to the International Monetary Fund, the underlying condition of the US economy is improving.
However, the IMF added that the recovery from recession has so far been tepid. In its regular assessment of the economy, the IMF said the US still faced powerful headwinds, but it noted gains on the stock market and in-house prices and predicted that the economic growth should gradually accelerate over the next year. However, further ahead, the IMF sees a slightly brighter picture and expects economic activity to accelerate to 2.7% next year as the fiscal drag subsides and the negative legacies of the financial crisis wane further. It also expects the rate of unemployment to gradually fall in 2014.